Stamford Chidge, and this is the Chelsea Football Fancast, and we are still looking at reasons to be cheerful, and we are discovering that there are quite a few. Now, one of the things that, you know, I mean, I'm so cheerful about this that I get moist when I think about it, and it is the fact that Jose Mourinho is our manager, and for me, this has been consistently one of the. I'm getting emotional just speaking about Darren. I just love the fact that we've got still the best football manager in the world at our club, where he belongs. I mean, there are so many reasons. I'm going to go through a whole load of them in a minute, but you know, I need to pass this on to somebody else before I break down and cry.
It's just great having him back at the club, and you know, I mean, one of the things obviously with actually keeping a manager over the summer is that Roman realised that continuity does help. When you have a manager like Mourinho who clearly knows what is wrong with the team and wants to make it right, you know, let him just do it. Let him get on with it. He's been through so many other managers who can't perform. It is great having someone like Jose there. When Jose came last season, he said then about how he can't wait to get to work. His contract wasn't until July 1st or whenever it was, but he was going to be doing stuff before then. And you know that right now Mourinho is getting everything ready for the new season. I mean, if that whole Costa thing is true, that it's all been accepted, 32 million. Then what else? You can see that we're trying to get things done early.
I'm going to touch on that in a minute, actually, because I think that there is an element to this that we need to discuss. But I mean, first of all, Paul, I mean, you know, he's still the master blaster when it comes to plans and tactics.
Well, he certainly is when it comes to any genuine adversary, isn't he? In terms of
he rinsed Banger. I mean, that was tactically hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't just brilliant; it was hilarious. I think Liverpool away. To do
I mean, it was easy.
City,
and
I mean,
the second we lost
to
Sunderland, you knew that he was going to do it. And the same with City, it was a total masterclass.
Yeah.
But I would say that the only team that we lost against convincingly this year was the one team that did what Jose was trying to do with Chelsea better than us, basically.
And they had a decent striker.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's interesting, isn't it?
Can I just say very quickly, you said about Mourinho and everything else. My nan was upset. She's 91. She was upset on Saturday because she opened the Daily Mail, which is the rubbish paper. I tell her all the time as well. But she and there was nothing about Jose Mourinho in it, and she was disappointed.
Good on you, Nan.
Everyone loves reading about Mourinho.
Yeah,
he's the only interesting
box
manager.
Office, mate. Talking of the media and the relationship.
Brendan Rodgers has got some interesting.
Has he really? I didn't see that. Is it okay? Give me a clue. Is it anything to do with the song that we were singing about Brendan Rodgers?
Nah. Allegedly.
You sound like Mike Graham of Talksport. Right. Talking of the media, I think that actually is one of the areas which I've actually enjoyed most about Mourinho this year. Is just his. I mean, look at that face.
He's just looking at you with the.
He's just like saying,
W.
Look at the benches.
That's
the face that Mourinho gives to the media. He's basically treated the media this year with utter contempt. He's looking at you, Gaffer. He's looking at you, Gaffer.
It's your Branagh,
Branagh, exactly.
Branagh.
But no, seriously, Mourinho has treated the media this year with utter contempt, and I mean, I never bothered ever. I used to watch the press conferences last year for the first time ever because they had Benitez on there, and I wanted to know what utter codswallop he'd come up with. But this year, I've been watching them just to see how Mourinho is going to cope the media off, and I have loved them.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I would say kind of that's maybe going to be interesting next year is that he's actually got a hell of a lot more pressure on him next year.
Yep.
He has to win something next year, otherwise he'll lose his job. So
he will. He won't lose his job, but he will win something.
I think he will as well. If he doesn't win anything, he would lose his job.
I'll tell you what, we'll invent a cup like Bates used to. We'll have the full Jose
Arsenal
Cup
still
or something,
do.
you know.
Exactly.
The Emirates Trophy. Well, I think actually what they should do this summer is that they should have the Emirates Trophy, and then we can compete in it with them, and we'll beat them, and that'd be quite funny. But
wearing our 2003,
did you see those Arsenal celebration shirts? They had
cup
winners, and fourth and qualification for the Champions
League. There was one wearing one in the tube earlier. I tried to take a photo, my flash went off, and it was really embarrassing.
I've seen a lot of Arsenal shirts.
But it had like Spurs mind the gap thing at the bottom. This is the most cringy thing.
I've seen a lot of Arsenal shirts around today. They've come out of the woodwork. They had moths coming out of them too, funny enough. But anyway, the other thing about they did because they've not been worn. They've been too embarrassed to wear them for the last 9 years, haven't they?
It's good to see everyone that's commenting on Jose is obviously just giving him a lot of love on Mixler.
I like it. We'll all join in a lot of Jose love. Now, the other thing I was going to say that I really like about Jose coming back is that, unlike the idiots, apart from Robbie, that we've had in the last few years, this is a man who understands the importance of the old guard, personified, I think, there we go, by JT and Lamps particularly. I mean, he gets how important that they are to this club because it was actually Jose that imbued the winning mentality into this club, into players like JT and Lamps. And he needs them to do the same to the new crop of players coming through.
I agree, but you could also argue the other way, though, that the ones that were, like Ancelotti always knew, when Ancelotti was saying things about, for like John Terry dying on the pitch of big glory and things like that, Ancelotti always trusted the pair of them. He always relied on the pair of them the old time. He always stuck by them, despite the fact Terry had his whole thing with Vanessa Parenteau and whatnot.
Allegedly. He didn't really.
So, whatever it was, Ancelotti always backed him as well. So the people that didn't were AVB and Benitez, and the people that did were obviously Ancelotti.
The successful ones haven't alienated.
Yeah, there we go. And the ones that have tried have been, which is about how it should be. I mean, the bottom line is, one of the things that I've also noticed very much about Jose this time round, compared to when he was here before, is the way he speaks, the statements he makes. He's making it very, very clear that he is one of us. Seb on the benches is nodding away at that. Do you agree with that, Bench? He's making a real kind of statement that he is one of us, isn't he? Yeah, don't all rush at once.
No, but I kind of agree with Pablo that there's going to be a lot more pressure next season, and that if we don't win the league or the Champions League, might have Robin have his finger over that button, and I don't know, just.
What do you make him sound like he's Dr. Evil?
it's the way of the world with Chelsea now.
Zip.
I think they've learned from the mistakes that continuity is very important. We've had ex-managers in 10 years.
And we've won more than every other team going. So actually,
that's the thing. Yeah.
But the thing is, the last couple of years with AVB and so on and so forth, we need continuity. We need to build the future. And Jose is a man for 4 or 5 years, and have Lampard or Terry as number 2 to Green to take over.
Guys, I mean, one of the things that does concern me a little bit is, I think we'll possibly see this playing out over the summer, I think, one way or the other. But, he has made some fairly caustic comments about, the players that he's got and what he wants to do. And Jose never says anything without there being some sort of a hidden meaning behind it or a message to whoever, whether it's us, the board or the media. Do you think there's likely to be some sort of a power struggle? And I mean, the power struggle will be between him and Raymond, and Emenalo will be somewhere in the middle. Or do you think he'll get his way? I mean, what do you think?
I don't think it needs to be a power struggle.
There's only one winner.
I suspect he probably won't get his way in everything that he wants, but ultimately, they will know what needs to be done. It's
I'd love to read his report. I mean, Mourinho's report would be fantastic reading, I think. I think it wouldn't be as good as Ross's player ratings, obviously, but I think I
like to think his report on Torres would just be a gif of him missing that chance at Old Trafford a few years ago, and that'll just be it.
I would love it if Mourinho was as honest in his report to Raymond as I am about Torres. That would actually make me laugh.
He would be.
Yeah.
I would love to see in Jose's report. It says, "Dear Roman, Fernando Torres. I think he is simple Jack." I mean, I would wet myself if that was in his report.
I think the thing is with it, Abramovich didn't bring in Mourinho to start being nice about things. I think he knows that Mourinho is always going to tell it like it is. If Mourinho's got an issue with something, everyone's going to know about it. There's no point. It's not going to achieve anything if Mourinho just comes in, just plays up to Raymond like Gordy and everyone else does, just to please him the whole time.
Yeah.
We're not going to get anywhere with it. I think he'd be brutally honest about things like Torres and the fact that no one can get the best out of him. If that was one of the reasons that Ancelotti went, then it shows it would have been a truly ridiculous thing to have happened.
All right, okay. One of the other things that I've really loved about this season, and I think actually this kind of goes hand in hand with Jose in some respects, but we seem to have, if they were giving out trophies for this particular thing, then we would have won it hands down. We are officially the most loathed and disliked football club on the planet. We are the enemies of football. And we have been ruining football since 2003. There we go. Proof, one of Callum's stickers. Look at that. We are. I mean, everybody hates us. I mean, the neutrals hate us because they all love Liverpool, apparently. The media hate us because they always write naff stuff about us. The FA hate us. UEFA hate us.
I just think
our main rivals. I mean, Arsenal won an FA Cup apparently yesterday, or whenever it was. It's the first trophy they won for 9 years. You would have thought they would have been out there celebrating their first trophy in 9 years. What were they all doing? They were trying to dig us and Mourinho out for the last 24 hours. What is it? Get a life. Enjoy your moment. Don't waste it on trying to coat us off, which is pointless. Everybody hates us. I mean, I personally, I love it. I don't want to be loved. I don't want to be everybody second team. I love the fact that we're hated.
Yeah, I mean, I think also what it is we're the pantomime villains of the need for narrative.
Oh, no, we're not.
That's the closest I come to swearing on this show, other than when I did the Etu sniffy thing.
Yeah, well, that was quite wasn't it? Yes, the Eto sniffy thing, as we call it on this show. But you don't care that we're hated?
Really, it's quite funny, really.
Yeah, I actually embrace it. I love it that we're hated, because if we're hated, we're doing something right.
In a society that is outraged by everything, there kind of comes a point.
Oh, hang on. Offended by everything, ashamed of nothing, you mean?
Well, no, it's not just them, though, is it?
Oh, no. Exactly. But
so, yeah, I mean, we get enough of it, and it does get a bit tiresome sometimes, but it is quite good fun.
Now, Darren, you know what it's like to be hated. You don't mind, do you?
If I was successful, it would be better.
If only I could have carried that on, but your face was a picture. I saw it. You managed to corpse the Chidge Meister. Well done. So anyway, I'll try to take
but
two.
The thing
Darren,
is with it...
You know what it's like to be hated, and I can't do it.
Yeah, the thing is with it, it doesn't... Why would it bother anyone? Because it is obviously... There's no actual reasons for it. There's no rhyme or reason. If it was because our fans were actually doing anything wrong, if it's because our
Chelsea
players were anything else, then... You know, I could understand it. Exactly. If that's the most...
Prawn sandwiches and plastics, like...
Plastic flags!
Plastic flags / racist
Which
hooligans.
Barcelona gave out in their quarter-final against Atletico Madrid.
So you don't vote for the EDL, do you? So there's no reason to hate Darren. You know, he's a normal Chelsea supporter, you know.
You don't know who I vote for.
No, I don't. I'm just presuming. Oh, you do then, do you? Is that why you got your hair cut?
I don't. You don't know that.
You are wearing purple. It has to be said.
I don't know
you
which...
Farage in disguise. Enough.
Yeah, I don't. No one really cares. I mean, is anyone going to think, oh, we beat Arsenal 6-0, but you know their supporters hate us? It's
really
ruined the
made
day.
me laugh. I mean, one of the highlights of my season. I mean, seriously, moving off from quoting you off all the time. One of my favourite moments in the season this year was when we beat Arsenal at the Emirates at the Capital World Cup, and the reaction that it created, the meltdown from Arsenal supporters, their hatred and vitriol came out, and I just soaked it up. I loved it. It was like the Krypton factor. It was giving me energy and sustenance. I loved it. Bring it on. I love it.
I agree with you. I thought you were going to keep going. The way you said bring on it, I thought you were going to... I don't know. I meant to match your level of enthusiasm as well, saying like, yeah, we are.
Look, benches. You're well loved, obviously, unlike us lot. But, I mean, what do you think about this? Do you think it's great that we're the enemies of football?
Don't care what anybody thinks about us. It's our club, but we love it. I don't care what Arsenal, Spurs, anyone else thinks. We love Chelsea. Who cares?
I think we're doing something right. If people hate us, we've got to be doing something right.
People hate success in this country. They resent it.
Yeah, I think rampaging in Paris is my highlight of the season, apparently. Yeah. By Belgium, undetectable, of course.
Yeah, you hooligan.
Yeah, definitely.
The frog and roast beefs have never been the same.
Diane was saying, everyone has been singing the old Stevie G song about Denver Bar and everything, so people hate us that much.
Yeah. They'll be thanking us, really. Yeah, but I think actually there's an interesting point there, Diane. I mean, I think there are two types of supporters. The neutrals that all love Liverpool, they're all armchair fans. None of them have ever been to a blooming game in their life. Proper match-going fans, none of them liked Liverpool. None of them wanted to see them win. And that's why so many around the country were singing that song.
We'll be getting sung across every league in the country next year.
There will be people who are yet to be discovered in the Amazon rainforest who are already singing Steve Gerrard, he slipped on his arse.
He gave it to Denver Bar.
Steve Gerrard. Okay, lovely. Right, now, talking of Liverpool, go on.
Very quickly, Chelsea Stats is live tweeting that
I was
match
just about
2
to
years
say
ago
that,
today.
Oh, what
I'm about to
legend.
go on because I think Schweinsteiger's about to be booked. It should be about
He
3.5 minutes.
He has been booked.
He's just been booked. I missed that bit with the flags.
I hope we're still on air while that's still going on.
He got booked about a minute ago.
Talking about Liverpool, which we kind of were, and talking about me loving being hated, there was only one person that I reserve my hate for most of all, and that is Rafa Benitez. And in terms of the comparison with this season and reasons to be cheerful, I mean, for me, one of them has to be that, oh, look, there we go. We don't have him anymore because we got him out of our club. But actually, the bottom line is what this means is that I think this year, compared to last year, we've got a united club, not a divided one. Everybody is happier. And it's nice to see. I mean, I think the results have been better. I think that we're playing better. The style has been better in many respects. But I think that, it's a thing to cherish. We no longer have Rafa Benitez at the club, and people are happier, aren't they?
I know, but I'm severely disappointed he decided to bring him up during an end of this season.
Because I think the point had to be made, Pablo. I think the point had to be made.
So I agree. The fact is, let's just forget about who we're talking about him. Forget he ever existed, which you've been harping on about all season, and now you've let yourself down at the last hurdle.
I knew I was going to get grief for this.
But you would want to always have to go at us if we ever mentioned it.
I just love that you're kind of being destroyed by the pincer movement in almost everything that you say.
I've never, that's it. This is the last time we're going to have 3... I thought it was a good idea. I thought 3 people on the show, these boys get to talk a little bit more. And what have they done? They've no gratitude whatsoever. They just sit here and they're ganging up on me.
And no one on Mixler sticking up for you either.
No, well, they never do. I know where I stand with the Mixler crew, but there you go. But I mean, do you think...
because you swear at them all on the advert breaks.
Well, I know, but they love that
really.
True. They love that, really. They like to be abused, really. There's a word for that in psychological terms, I think, isn't there? Anyway, I haven't done that. What was it called? Baron Munchausen syndrome.
What's being an Arsenal fan?
Stockholm syndrome. I thought that's what Oscar had. Anyway, look, I think the main point about it is that will the club, do you think they learned their lesson? Will they ever make that kind of a stupid...
Oh, probably. Almost certainly, yeah, at some point.
You're such a cynic. You really think they'll be that stupid again? Yes, I think you're right.
To get rid of Jose?
To make a stupid mistake like hiring that fat idiot.
I think they would do. I mean, Roman's running out of other managers he hasn't yet hired. I don't think he'd ever hired David Moyes, but essentially, I do think they'll still hire unpopular managers. I don't think he cares enough, about what the supporters actually want or think. If he thinks it's going to win us things, if he actually thought Benitez was better than Di Matteo, despite the fact we're 4 points off the lead when Benitez turned up and we were 16 points behind by the end of the season. If he thinks these things are right, he's got no one to advise him. They all say, yes, Roman, you're right, yes, Roman, you're right.
No, fair enough.
You've got Evan Ireland that undermines himself by offering to resign when Mourinho was appointed. Why have someone there that wanted to resign because he sort of felt his position was compromised by Mourinho being there?
Okay.
So that's the people he listens to.
I'm a bit too happy. I think they're right. I think that the club will probably do something stupid like that again. It's kind of the way they operate. Right. Finally, just to wrap this little bit up. I was going to talk about our hopes for the summer in terms of who's in and who's out. I'd rather not. I'd rather just say, what are your expectations for next season, Pablo?
You got to presume it'll be a 3-horse title race between us and the 2 Manchester clubs. I would say. In the same
you really think you're not because of Van Gaal?
No, because they're going to be playing 25 games less than us.
Oh yeah, they'll be the Liverpool syndrome, won't it?
But they're better than Liverpool if they get their act together. They're a better manager. They should.
You don't think Arsenal might spend a bit of money?
Arsenal do exactly what Arsenal do every year.
They'll play for 4th again, won't they?
Well, no, they'll be all right until February or so.
But we'll be better too, and we'll have a striker.
Well, this is it. Yeah, you got to presume that we'll be better. You got to presume that despite any sanctions on City, they're going to strengthen as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'll be a 3-horse race, and I think actually we've got to win something. So.
Yeah, I think.
Can I read out one of the tweets just to sum up actually just how good the success was?
You can, and then we have to go to a break.
Matter to Kalu, neither at the club, and Kalu was naff. Does well, beats 3, finds Jobber, both hits across, out of reach of Champions League debutant Bertrand. It's quite he makes his debut. Kalu's playing the match, in their backyard and everything else. I just think it sums up quite well.
We won the Champions League and we were rubbish. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, we weren't rubbish. We just had people like Kalu in the team and an inexperienced Bertrand there.
We did, I know.
Matter who's surplus to
You know why though, don't you, Darren?
No, I don't. You have to tell me.
I'm going to.
Dead airs are crying.
I'll tell you. It was written in the stars, mate.
Only a mate didn't say that.
It was written in the stars. Now, after the break, which is coming up very, very shortly, we are going to be revealing the winners of the Chelsea FanCast Season Awards. I am so excited. I'll see you in a second.